David and Madison, we've reached a juncture where it makes no sense for y'all to keep lying. Y'all are together. It's been a year, right? You're living together, dancing and emphasizing and all that good stuff. What is the purpose in lying still? Just give the timeline. Just give the timeline. What's up, everybody? Welcome and welcome back to the channel. I'm Tammy. This is TammyTalks. We are here today to talk Married at First Sight, Season 18, Episode 19. We are still in Chicago. This is the reunion part 1. If you guys are brand new to the channel or you have just not yet subscribed, I hope this is the video that changes your mind. We are now less than 600 subs away from 35,000. So if you're watching, if you can hear my voice, if you can see my face and you have not yet subscribed, please do me a solid. Make sure you guys are thumbsing up the video, liking the video. We always want to get to 1,000 likes. We always get to 1,000 likes, so I appreciate y'all for that. And then leave your comments down below. All right, so I thought the reunion was kind of lackluster, to be honest. Um, because we're not getting any real answers on anything. It's still a lot of talking in circles for the most part, from a lot of the couples, but let's still talk about it. I thought everybody looked great. I'll say that. Was not a fan of Carla's dress. Because you can see her boob tape. You can see that, and it's black. So I wasn't a fan of that. But I think everybody as a whole, collectively, everybody looked nice. I wish Married at First Sight did themes like the Housewives, so we can all be a little more uniform, okay? But we start off with Camille saying that it feels like a lot of them have turned into family. Carla said, yeah, we have a couple different group chats. Some people are in this group chat, others are in this one. We know what group chat y'all have, right? One group chat has David and Madison, the other has Michelle. One group chat has the other has Ikechi. So we know the way that this is segmented out. Okay, so Camille and Thomas are still married, and when Kevin asks them, she was getting ready to be like, "Well, and I was with Kevin. Why do you always do that?" To me, there's something to that. I don't like it, and it could be something very minuscule, but to me, that would irritate me if every time my husband was asked, "Oh, so are you and Tammy still together?" And it's always, "Well, I mean, I I don't think it's funny. It was funny maybe the first time, but I feel like Camille does this anytime they're asked. So, and you can tell that Thomas doesn't like it. You can tell he's not like it. So, kudos to Kevin Frazier for calling that out. I did not like Kevin as a host this episode. I think Keisha Napoleon would have been a way better host. I think Keisha just has a way of asking deeper questions to pull better answers out. Kevin, like he typically does, lets these people answer and then he's like, okay, and now you. So it's never like he doesn't really ask any follow up questions, but cool. So we start off with going kind of doing like an around the horn, seeing what everybody has been up to. It is 1 year since Decision Day, I believe. So we see that Michelle just celebrated her 40th birthday. She said life is good. There's a lot of less stress for her. Said she is happy. She is building her family. She is still with Brandon. They are celebrating their 1 year anniversary. She said it has not been easy, but it is so much better having a partner. When you say stuff like that, baby, it makes us think that you just wanted somebody. That you just wanted somebody. So I wanted to clarify something that I saw a lot in my comments last week. So when we say that or when we agree that just wanted a plug and play husband, the way that Ikechi said, what we're saying is didn't care anything about the person, right? She just wanted a husband. She didn't care how compatible they were. She didn't care if there was physical attraction. She didn't care if there was emotional attraction. She literally just wanted a husband. So when she makes statements like this, saying that, yeah, life is so much better with a partner. She just wanted a partner, which is fine. And we understand that that's why she came onto the show. We get that. It's still just, it's a little cringy. It's a little cringy. So we then have Ikechi, who does not want to answer if he is dating or not. That means no. It means you're not. He then said that he has been traveling for music and for art. Okay. Juan and Carla, they are now hanging out. They still hang out. They go get coffee together. They are now friends, even though Carla wanted that separation between church and state. So she said they are like two peas in the pod. Juan is in a relationship and Carla is just dating currently. Okay. Allan. So Allan is back dating someone that he was matched with a matchmaker before the process. So apparently, before coming onto the show, Allan used a matchmaker to find a partner. They went out on one date, and then I guess they didn't see each other again. Correct me if I'm wrong on what he said. But the day before the wedding, that particular woman reached out to Allan and was like, "Oh, I'm ready to go on another date." But he was like, "Oh shoot, I'm getting married tomorrow." So I think that's the woman that he is now back dating. He has her face blurred out. He said, "Y'all are not gonna be all up in this lady's comments." So cool. Shout out to him. We then get an update from David and Madison. They now live together. David is no longer living in his mom's basement. He moved into Madison's apartment and he bought an investment house. I think they bought it together for another stream of income. Okay. Shout out to David for getting about his mama's basement. So we start off with Kevin getting right to it and asking about David and Madison. Okay. He was like, "So look, when did this start with the two of you?" Madison and David always give the same answer, that it started in the gym. It started in the gym. We know that. We know that y'all was on the stairmaster getting buns of steel. We know that. We are asking what week in the process. And I think what's irritating me the most about this, if y'all are together, y'all are together. It's a year later, y'all are still together, y'all are still thriving and all that stuff. Cool. However, however, the fact that y'all won't just say when this started is annoying at this point, because what do you have to hide? You have literally nothing to hide at this point. So Madison said that it was 3 or 3.5 weeks into the process. They were in the gym. They were talking about family and private things. And she saw how like genuine and sweet of a person that David was. And she said, "Oh shoot, I can see myself following through with this person. Like, I can see us getting something going." So David said, look, he thought that at the honeymoon, he was kind of looking at Madison like, damn, why wasn't she the one that came walking down the aisle? Now, I don't watch the matchmaking special. I would love to know the reasoning for giving David Michelle as opposed to Madison. I would love to know what the experts envisioned that they did do it that way. Because for David and Madison to still be together a year later, what did the experts miss? Okay. So David said even on the honeymoon, it was a struggle for him. He was calling his friends and his family, his cousin Denise. I know Denise was like, "Don't put my name in shit else. Don't say my," I know that's right, Denise. "Tell him keep your name out his mouth." If I was Denise, I'd be like, "David, don't say my name and shit else." Okay. So he was calling his friends and family, trying to navigate that, like wondering what he should do. Alan said, at what point was it, "Hey, I'm going to reach out to my friend's wife"? It's a valid question. David was like, "You know what? As a man, I should have pulled you to the side." Alan said that Michelle would even ask, like, "Is David talking to anybody? Is David messing around?" Because David and Alan were, they were aces. So he was like, "I defended you to Michelle because I was like, no, there's no way that David could even do something like that." And what gets me about this entire situation is the fact that David and Madison have the audacity, the gall, the temerity, the nerve to be irritated, to be upset whenever they are questioned about this. That's what I don't understand about them. Y'all knew y'all were wrong in the moment. Right? Y'all knew y'all were wrong in that moment. When y'all started to develop the feelings for each other, y'all knew y'all were wrong. So y'all turn around and y'all get caught because of David being sloppy, right? And sending the wrong text message to the wrong person. Why have an attitude about it? I just kind of feel like to me, that's childish. You got caught. You know that you want to be with this person, own up to it, and then just move forward. But I guess. So David then is just like, you know what? To be real with you, I shot my shot. But that doesn't answer Alan's question of at what point did you turn and start confiding in your friend's wife? It's a lot of semantics being played, and that's what had me so irritated watching this. Like, just be truthful because at this point, y'all have nothing to lose. You have nothing to lose. So, Michelle said that it was irritating to her because she kept pushing and pushing because she does not like being lied to her face. And I really wish people would kind of understand that and get that in their head. Nobody wants to be lied to their face, right? I don't care if I see an ex from high school. I don't want you to lie to my face. And that's what people are missing. Michelle was point blank asking Madison and David, and they still played in her face and lied. So, yeah, I would be irritated about that too. So, David was like, well, I thought that after lie, that you would just drop it. Okay, Madison, this is who you want, though. This is who you want. The man that feels if I tell enough lies that it'll just go away. Okay. So we then get some never before seen footage. And it is Madison doing a talking head video. And she's saying that how Michelle needs to keep her name out her mouth. Michelle is being very immature. I have nothing to hide. So I don't know why Michelle is even coming up to me and getting in my face and getting me involved in what's going on with her and David. I don't understand it. It's childish. And Michelle needs to understand I'm not involved with her and David. I said, oh, wow. Wow. It was really to keep my name out your mouth. Here's the thing, Madison, you knew you were in the wrong. You knew you were in the wrong. On top of the fact, Michelle didn't do anything to you. So the fact that you would have all this venom and you're willing to sit here and lie on camera, like David and Madison, truth be told, I wish y'all all the best because that shit, it ain't got nothing to do with me. I wish y'all all the best, but just know, look at how easily y'all were willing to lie not only to your partners, but on camera to millions of people that watch the show. Just keep that in mind moving forward in your relationship. Something to take note on, right? So Michelle was after they showed the video, and Kevin was like, "Michelle, do you have anything to say?" Michelle was like, "No." She said it in the video. I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. So now Madison feels the way, and it's like, I don't want to rehash things, baby. That's why we're at the reunion to rehash things. We're at the reunion to clear things up. This is your opportunity to vindicate yourselves. This is your opportunity to vindicate yourselves. But y'all, oh, there's no vindication for y'all. That's the issue. And y'all know that there's no vindication for y'all. Y'all know that. So then Madison is like, well, let's just light it on fire. Let's light the match and throw it on the fire. We have nothing else to lose, but then you still aren't truthful about it. See, Madison is a lot of lip service. That's because she ain't met the right one yet. Because Madison knew who to play with when it came to Michelle. Right? And if I was Michelle, I'd have been like, where is all the venom that you had for me when you was threatening to whip my ass when we were at Juan's Funhouse? Just like I do not like Madison. I don't like Madison. And a lot of it is because David at least tries to look remorseful. Madison doesn't. Madison has a lot of unnecessary anger towards Michelle, which is silly. Which is absolutely silly. Like, it makes literally no sense for you to be indignant with her when you were messing around with her husband. Whether y'all think that it was a real marriage or not, they were married on paper, they were going through the process. So the fact that Madison still, like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. So Michelle then said that Michelle said that she had been talking about David's text message for weeks. So the fact that Madison and David were still playing in her face is what really kind of pissed her off. So Madison is like, well, I asked Michelle, why didn't she talk to me off camera? And Michelle's answer was, well, we are on reality TV and I feel Michelle. I feel Michelle. No, 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 no. Because what we not gonna do is make it seem as if I have punched down on this man so much that he is so downtrodden when in reality he's messing around with somebody else. No, 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 no. We're going to talk about this on camera. So Madison said that that wasn't her in that video, that talking head video. She was upset because of the way that Michelle didn't want to talk to her off camera. She felt slighted like that because this is her real life. It's Michelle's life too. It's Alan's life too. It's not just your life, Madison. See, Madison has main character syndrome, where she feels that she's the only person in this that matters, and that's not true. Yeah, she's apologetic to David. And if you're not apologizing to Michelle for, making a move on her husband, you could apologize to Michelle for lying to her face when this lady called you a friend. You knew that she looked at you as a friend. You knew that though. You honestly and truly did. You knew that she was confiding in you the woes of her relationship. So for you to turn around and then go pillow talk with her husband is cheap. It's cheap. So I don't know why Madison is so swollen in the chest about this. I don't get it. I don't get it. So Michelle said, look, if Madison would have approached me, I would have told her, chill out until the end of the process and then go for it. And honestly and truly, I believe Michelle. I 1000% believe Michelle. And that's what we all have been saying. If Madison and David are meant for each other, then they're meant for each other. But y'all didn't have to do it within these 8 weeks. If y'all don't have the self control to not mess around for 8 weeks, that's a problem because y'all are adults. Y'all aren't horny teenagers that just hit puberty and are discovering yourself and discovering others. So Madison said that she doesn't know why David and Michelle continued their marriage. Michelle said, why did you? And let's be real, like that's a very valid question. So then Madison, I guess, it didn't expect that answer back. And she would say, I tried. And it's like, when? When were you trying? Because you were trying with David. You were trying with David. I feel like Madison should have showed up and just been like, you know what, I'm sorry, and sat there and ate her food. But you wanted to like battle people, you wanted to argue with Michelle, it makes you look worse, Madison. It honestly and truly does. So Madison clarified that she was trying in the beginning. Okay. Madison said that her and David talked every single day. And when she was out at night, she was almost always with her friends. Outside of the night that Alan called her transactional, that night she was out with David. So let me get this straight. So you were all but a weep. Okay, you were all but a weep at Alan saying that he thought you were transactional based on how you were dancing. So you decide to truly go out and be transactional. Okay. Okay. So MM said, look, I didn't think that David could do something like this. I didn't think that David would do something like this to Michelle. Carla said it was shocking and said that the women would all get together and we would joke and we would vent. And I would tell them, hey, if y'all want wine, let me know. So there were lots of opportunities for the truth to come out. And I believe that. I wholeheartedly believe that because, like we all have established, Michelle didn't want David anyways. She didn't want David. We know that. We get that. Y'all don't have to put it in the comments. I'm going to assume y'all didn't watch the video if I see it in the comments. But like we know that Michelle did not want David. They were not going to stay together, right? That marriage was not going to work. They were not going to say yes. However, that does not mean, well, that doesn't mean that I'm going to make a move on her husband and then lie in her face. I think a lot of this is guilt eating up at Madison, and she just has too much pride to say it. So Juan said that it's hard for him to trust David now because, what he did was kind of flawed because him and Alan were supposed to be friends. So now David is sitting there and it's like, yeah, there are repercussions. These people are cool with y'all still. Yeah, y'all are friendly, but they don't trust y'all. They don't trust y'all. And it's bad to be like, how can I be friends with somebody that I don't trust? If I don't trust you, I can't consider you a friend. That's too bad. So Thomas said, well, I felt stupid because, David was my boy and here I was defending him initially, then come to find out what was going on and there was a high level of disrespect. So now they have to go around and hear this, and you can see them just wanting to recoil into themselves. So then we get to stupid ass Ikechi, and he was like, I saw her from day one. I saw the connection between y'all at the gym because David was in there doing cardio. But then he says, who gives a fuck? Y'all love each other. And that's true. That's true. Who gives a fuck? Y'all love each other. However, people are going to have opinions, mainly Michelle and Alan. I just kind of feel like I'm gonna sound like a broken record, but y'all have nothing to lose at this point. So what is like? Why not just be truthful about it? I don't get it. I just don't get it. So Madison said that if she could, she would change some things, and she regrets not having the courage and the confidence to just tell Alan the truth. Okay. David apologizes and said that he was just trying to protect somebody that he really cared about, which was Madison. And he said that, once again, he goes into that speech of, she was giving me things that Michelle wasn't giving me. She was telling me good morning. She was asking how my day was. And so I was just trying to protect her because, I'm sorry, Alan. Alan, I apologize because, I should have manned up, right? I should have manned up and I should have told you. And I'm like, the fact that it is taking y'all this long to do this is crazy. Crazy. So they have on rings, Madison and David, and it's a symbol of them being together. I said, okay, sure. So we then start to have the couples come out so that we can get some more in-depth follow-ups from them. So Tom and Camille, I have two notes for them. The past year has been fun. It's been very steady. Tom said he is surprisingly still happy. Camille, I would feel like that's a bit of a red flag statement. Okay. Um, don't if we're married and we've been married for 1 year, don't tell nobody I'm still happy surprisingly, because the connotation behind that is you not feeling like I was gonna make you happy long term. But Camille said that she never meant that his lack of swag was a way to drag him. And she was like, look at him now. He looked like a whole snack. Tom is handsome. I'll give him that. He's a very attractive man. The part in his head, okay, swaggerific, thug life. And I feel like every scene that we see Thomas in now, like old footage or whatever, he has on a pair of Jordans. So he done hit up StockX and Goat and in Flight Club, and he done cashed out to get all the Jordans that Camille will appreciate. So they start to talk about growing their family. They want to wait maybe another year or so um, when they are more solid and comfortable in their marriage, and once they are in more of a routine. So they moved out, they have a bigger place, and so kudos to them. I wish them all the absolute best. So we then get Ikechi and Emma. So they come out. So we start off with a never before seen clip from the honeymoon where she's leaning on his shoulder, she's rubbing his chest, and they are saying that, it's a little uncomfortable for them being the center of the couple's attention. Because remember, when they first got to the honeymoon and everybody got off the Sprinter van, they were kind of like the it couple. They were very touchy feely. Everybody was like, oh, look at them, they're so in love. So I don't know if that had like an adverse effect on them, but it seems like things started to go downhill from there. So Ikechi said they were getting to know each other before getting to know each other. And remember, they wanted to wait to have sex until after they really like learned more about each other. So Kevin was like, so when did the shift change? What happened? They both agreed it happened when they got back to Chicago. Ikechi said that it was a line of it was her line of questions that he just didn't like, but he now realizes that that is her way of learning someone. And he admits that he was stubborn because that is not how he learned somebody. So remember, Pastor Cal said that Emin is science, Ikechi is art. So Emin is more analytical. So she's a person I want to ask questions and get facts. That is how she gets to know somebody. Ikechi likes to get to know people by doing experiences. I'm the same way. I don't like answering a gazillion questions about myself because I think that's boring. I honestly think that's boring. I would prefer we go out and we do something because to me, that's how more organic conversations start, right? If we're out and we go to, I don't know, a pottery class, it'll spark up conversation. You know, I took pottery class in high school. Me and my best friends, we used to do pottery. And I remember in class one day, we had just came from English, right? Where we had a lesson on the real lyrics to what D'Angelo's Brown Sugar meant. That it stems with a whole conversation, and you can learn so much about somebody because now you know that that person likes D'Angelo. Now you know that I've done pottery before. Now I'm telling you about my high school friends. You know what I mean? Like that's how to me I feel like more organic conversations build up that way as opposed to what do you like to do? What's your favorite color? You know what I mean? So I see what Ikechi is saying, but on the flip, it's not always about you when you're in a relationship. So he does acknowledge that he was stubborn. Good. At least you know. MM said that she does wish that things didn't go the way that they did. So Kevin brings up Ikechi calling her aggressive. Ikechi wishes that he would not have called her that. He would say, I just meant that she's like really about her business and all her shit. I said, so you meant she's assertive? Aren't you a teacher? Isn't he like a counselor or something? Don't he do something with the youth? You don't know the word assertive? So Emmett was like, look, if you would have phrased it that way, then it would have gone a complete different way. So Emmett talks about the implications and the negative connotation when a woman, a black woman at that, a brown skinned black woman at that is called aggressive. And then she talks about how as a business owner, a lot of times men will try to belittle her and bring her down in size because they are intimidated by her. And Nikechi was like, I didn't try to belittle you, but those are your feelings and they are valid. But I don't want you to think that that's what I was trying to do. A very different Ikechi we're seeing. Very different Ikechi so far. Very different Ikechi. So MM thinks that there were mixed signals when it comes to the conversation about her violating his consent. Okay. She said, look, truth be told, listen, facts are facts. Ikechi initiated the physical contact, the physical consent on the honeymoon. Remember, she told the story about how he took her hand and put it up on his member. Remember, it's always funny. Put it up on his junk, okay? And she said that when he told her to stop, she did stop. The only thing is she wanted to know why. She had questions about that, and MM said those questions were never answered. So Kevin asked Ikechi, why did you just cut her off? Now, we know that Ikechi was upset by the line of questioning. So Ikechi feels that MM asking him why, apparently that's what he thinks violated the consent. I don't know. He goes on to finally admit, I just wasn't physically attracted to you in that way. You could have said that a long time ago, Ikechi, and y'all probably could have just been really good friends. Y'all could have rolled this out, been friends. Nobody's feelings would have got hurt. Nobody would have felt belittled. Nobody would have been disrespected. This could have went a complete different way. Okay. So MM said, well, that's good to know, but this was after you put my hand on your stuff. Ikechi said, look, I didn't want to embarrass you. MM said, but you did though. Not only did you embarrass me, you added a little disrespect for a little razzle dazzle. And Ikechi apologizes and said he did not mean to disrespect her. And I'm like, I don't know, something about his apologies to me don't seem genuine. They just don't. So MM said, look, in the moment that she read the letter, she meant it because she was hurt. And now she does not wish him the worst. She meant it then, but she doesn't mean it now. Ikechi said, I wasn't even paying attention to that because I knew she was hurt and I knew it wasn't real. In the moment it was real to her, but she was just trying to get her feelings out. That was very dismissive. You were paying attention, Ikechi, because you looked like you wanted to cry. You were paying attention. You heard everything she said. So Ikechi does wish he was more open and honest about his feelings. He said that he wishes that he did. We no, then he said, "Well, I was," but he wishes that he expressed those in a manner that she understood. He then goes on to say that there were a lot of conversations that were off screen that we did not see. When Kevin asked about these conversations, he doesn't have a response. So it's bull. Okay. He then said that he had to walk on eggshells around her and that when he feels disrespected, he shuts down. He admits that he never told her when he felt disrespected or belittled or whatever the case. So I guess she was supposed to just know. Ikechi, this isn't helping your case at all. So MM said that she has no clue what he's talking about. Literally no clue. She doesn't know the conversation. She doesn't know anything about that. She said that the way that she speaks is very direct and straight to the point. That's just how she is. So MM said that throughout this process, she has learned to love as hard as the other person loves her, which is a word. Far too often, people love somebody else more than that person loves them, and they end up suffering the ramifications of that. So she wishes that she would have just given up easier and quicker to kind of save herself some time and some embarrassment. So what she's taken away from this process is not being too deep into the relationship so that she loses herself. Ikechi acknowledges that he was not ready for this type of marriage. He said he's ready for marriage, but he wasn't ready for this type of marriage and he would not sign up for the show again. MM said that life is good with Brandon and they have merged their families together. And Brandon is there. Why? Why would Brandon be there? Why would Brandon be there? But okay. So we have Madison and Allan come on out. Madison in the beginning said that she tried, but she got in her head a lot and she started to pull back. So she just did not think that they were compatible. And a lot of the incompatibility. Why did that feel like that was wrong? Incompatibility? A lot of the incompatibility. Is that am I I'm tired, y'all. A lot a lot of their lack of compatible incompatibility. That's a word, right? That's a word. So a lot of that, oh my God, a lot of that, she just could not look past. Alan said, look, I knew that we were heading towards the friend zone because when I would touch you, I would see you tense. And as a man, you know when a woman doesn't want to be touched by you. And if this was a typical first date, we would not have had a second or third date, and Madison acknowledges that. So Madison said that she saw them just as friends and she did not communicate that properly to him. Okay. Alan said, look, things would have been different if, or he said they could have been different if her attention was fully on him and not split with somebody else. So Madison is curious if the couples never interacted with each other, which, like Kevin pointed out, is how the show was back in the day. You got married, you didn't see the other couples, you didn't interact with them. And I think the moment that they started to mesh all these people together, that's when more shit started to happen. Case in point this season. Case in point last season. So Madison wonders if the couples never knew each other. If the women weren't hanging out, what the difference would have been. Now, she does not think that her and David, she doesn't think that her and Alan would have stayed married, but she thinks that they would have at least gotten to the end of the process. She doesn't regret David. Which she shouldn't. Let me say that. She should not regret David. You should regret the way that y'all did it, but she shouldn't regret David. If you in love with that man, you in love with that man. If you love your controlling his bang, then you love controlling his bang. So she said that when they were in the scenes with all the couples in those type of settings, her anxiety would kind of build up. She also talks about how whenever the women got together, it was just a bitch fest where they would vent about the issues in their marriages. So it just wasn't very encouraging, right? So she says she does regret what she did, and she knows that Alan deserves so much better, but she appreciates the fact that Alan is not like bitter towards her. He's not, yelling at her, whatever the case. Madison and David said they never, well, Madison said her and David never hung out in each other's apartments. They would just meet up at the gym 6:30 in the morning. And she said that even after the show, she started to question, did they bond over misery? Was it a trauma bond? Is this really love? Was it a rebound? So she went through all those things. She claims that she was just not herself for a while and she was all this other type of bullshit. I can't tell, Madison, because the way that you acted in that last episode is not indicative of a person that had any type of remorse. But that's just me. So Alan said that he wished that she would have been more upfront about it. And Madison said that she just was scared to. She was scared to tell him. So Madison acknowledges that it was a betrayal because she didn't lie to him. She was deceptive. And they are cordial. Alan said they're friends, but they not the type of friends that's like, yo, you want to come over and kick it? They're not that type. But if they see each other out and about in Chicago, they speak. Madison is excited to meet Alan's girlfriend. Why? Why? So you can cross her and try to get back with Alan. Don't let Madison come around your girlfriend. Leave her where she at. Leave that lady alone, Madison. Leave her alone. So then all the ladies come out and they all say that Camille gives the best advice. Camille said that she's an empath, and when she rocks with you, she really rocks with you. And she wants everybody to have just the best life and best experience possible. So they all say that Carla and Madison are the life of the party. Carla is just a good time. She gonna sage y'all down, okay? She gonna make sure everybody's chakras are correct, and Madison is gonna provide the shots. So MM said that she felt a lot of love and support from the ladies, which she appreciated because they had her back. They rode for her throughout this entire process, and she just really appreciates everything that they've done for her. All the ladies are still cool. Madison and Michelle are not, but all the other ladies are cool. It looked like everybody is Camille's best friend. Camille lives around the corner from so they hang out a lot. Camille said her and Madison are very close. It looked like Carla and Michelle are kind of on the outskirts, but I think that's just because Carla be in her own world. That's what I think. So Carla said that seeing Madison and David disappear that night when the text message was sent was odd to her. But she said that she didn't say anything. She didn't tell anybody because she wasn't sure and she didn't want to, put anything wild into the atmosphere. Madison immediately goes into defensive mode and was like, no, my phone got lost. Carla's like, okay. But from the outside looking in, it looks away. It looks away. So Michelle said that the timeline is still off to her, but we'll never know the truth. And she feels that seeing Madison's interview was just very hurtful to see Madison sitting there and lying on her, calling her childish and immature and all this type of stuff. And Madison is like, well, I apologize. So whatever. I just don't understand Madison's venom for Michelle. I don't get it. I don't get it. So she hopes that Michelle can get past it and said that there are things that we've all done and said about each other. No, we're not talking about that though. We're not talking about that. We're talking about what you said, Madison. We're talking about how you sat up there in that camera, told Michelle to keep your name out her mouth when you know that you were messing around with David. That's the thing. And I wish Madison would just honestly give Michelle, you know what it's going to take is for another woman to come in and do to her what she did to Michelle. That's what it's going to take for Madison because the way that she still has venom for Michelle is crazy to me. So we bring out Michelle and David. They're the last couple to take the stage for the night. And David said that his parents were disappointed in him. A lot of friends and family members were disappointed because it's not because he got with Madison and he found love. It's the way that you did it and the fact that you kept lying to Michelle and then being dismissive about it afterwards, right? So he does wish he had the opportunity to sit down and talk to Michelle about what he did. So right now, David is, he's trying to be apologetic, right? Trying. So Michelle acknowledged, look, I couldn't get past him living in that basement. We were not going to work out because he lived in the basement. And she does wish that she would have reacted differently to that news. So David said, well, I was walking on eggshells and I gave up after the anniversary. And so Kevin was like, but by the anniversary, you had already been, you already had your eyes set on Madison, though. David doesn't answer. So Kevin asks Michelle why she was so angry about this because she wasn't going to stay with David. And her response has always been that she did not like being lied to in her face. Michelle even says, I don't care about y'all being together, but y'all lied to me. Y'all tried to gaslight me. That's why she is upset. And again, the average person is going to be upset about that. They just are. They just are. So David does not want to clarify the timeline. So now David, because he's being kind of forced to answer a question, to like be truthful, he starts getting snippy. Well, you can believe what you want to believe. So now we know that you're lying. Because Michelle is like, I, for one, do not believe that y'all were not physical before that text message. And I'm with Kevin. What is so bad about admitting to it now? Y'all have literally nothing to lose at this point. Literally nothing to lose. Now, during these scenes, we see some the cast like in the green room talking, and Michelle and Allan were talking in one segment, and Michelle tells or Allan tells Michelle that he wouldn't come out here and ruin his reputation anymore either. There's nothing more that can ruin their reputation though. That's the thing. If David and Michelle come out and say we were sneaking off on the honeymoon and we were kissing and stuff, it's not gonna ruin their reputation any more than what we already think about them. You know what I mean? I feel like being honest gets you some respect from people a little bit. But that was the reunion part one. Let me know what you guys thought about it. Did you guys enjoy it? Did it answer any questions for you? Subscribe to the channel, thumbs up the video, and I will catch you guys next week for part two. Peace.